So despite a season where she didn't really play, and when she played, she clearly was hurt. Like, it wasn't the greatest season in the world for Caitlin Clark, if we're being completely honest. Like, she had her moments, the triple-double in the first game, um the unbelievable game she had against the Liberty. Like, she played 13 games. In the 13 games she played, I thought she had probably 8. She probably had 5 really good games. 5, give it, like, take it or leave it, like, okay games. And then she obviously had three maybe real bad games. But look, she was playing on one leg, so it was what it was. But at the end of the day, look, Caitlin Clark is not as relevant today as she was a year ago. Based on anything. I'm just gonna Google trends it. I'm just gonna Google trends Caitlin Clark. You can't ever really tell anything with Caitlin Clark. In terms of relevancy. So if you type in Caitlin Clark and you're looking web search, she is in fact, what is it? This is past 12 months. Let's go past 365 days. I say past 5 years. Past 5 years, obviously, look, she was relevant for the entirety of 2024 and then, like, was at a 0 towards the end of this year and is back down. Pretty much is going to be at a 0 very, very soon for quite a bit of time. In terms of Caitlin Clark's relevancy. Obviously, it's 15 to 21st June. I'm pretty sure it was during a Sophie Cunningham situation. I want to see what it is in YouTube search. It's definitely lower in YouTube search. So, yeah, Caitlin Clark is at, like, a very much low in terms of YouTube search. Other than, like, even at Christmas. What happened in December? Ah, yes. That was the Time magazine article. But, yeah, obviously is a bit down. But that doesn't mean that I saw this post here. She's the third most famous and popular basketball player per YouGov market research. Apparently, these are just online things. But it shows here, most famous basketball players. Fame is defined by percentage of people who've ever heard of a contemporary basketball player. Caitlin Clark is at 68%. 68% have heard of Caitlin Clark. And as you guys can see here, like, people are like, oh, but, like, how is it that only 43% of people have a positive opinion of Caitlin Clark? Well, it's like, it literally, basically what they're saying is that of the 72%, not 48%, of 72. So it says here 25% of a negative opinion of Caitlin Clark or don't have a positive opinion, and 24% of Steph Curry. If 24% of people don't have a positive opinion of Stephen Curry, 25% not having a positive opinion of Caitlin Clark is fine. If she has a similar level of, like, popularity to Stephen Curry or positive opinions as Stephen Curry, we're okay with that. Like, if you're out here having a negative opinion, I seriously question you. If you have a negative opinion of Stephen Curry, I question you as a human. Just like if you have a negative opinion of Caitlin Clark, I question you as a human. Not like, not anything else, not basketball. If you have a negative perception of Caitlin Clark the person, I genuinely question you as a human. That's all I'm going to say. But, like, her being on this list is genuinely huge. Considering the fact, again, this is an online thing. I've heard, like, she's the only female player realistically that has a chance of being in this. And the fact is that I think I stand by this. I think maybe Victor Wembanyama is becoming more famous. I think maybe Victor Wembanyama is a bigger name. Like, Victor Wembanyama, like, I'm sorry, it's almost like the Caitlin Clark effect, where when I just say the name Victor Wembanyama on a NBA channel video, it's a 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Like, obviously, you guys don't. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. I hope that. Yeah, I'm muted. Thank God. You guys may or may not know. Obviously, I run the Mick Hoops channel. If you guys don't know, heck, if I have a Victor Wembanyama video, other than Victor Wembanyama will be the face of the NBA. Like the rest of these videos, some of them get 1,000 views here and there. Sometimes they get a couple of hundred. Sometimes they get 1,000 views. Wemby 1.6k. Wemby 2.2k. Wemby 1.9k. Wemby 2.8k. Wemby 2k. Like unless it's literally Bronald, unless I'm talking about Bronny James, it is like it's Wemby's. It's Wemby's world, and we're all just living in it. But to see the popularity of Caitlin Clark still is crazy, and like, that is the biggest thing for the WNBA. The face of basketball, and people want to pretend she's not the face of the league. Like that is the scariest thing, is that like the WNBA has a player that is comparable fame-wise to Stephen Curry. Like LeBron is the most famous, clearly the most famous. Most famous basketball player of all time is Michael Jordan. Like we all kind of know that. Do you remember the Colin Cowherd thing where he was like the top 5 most famous athletes in the world? And he said like Michael Jordan, Serena Williams. He said Tom Brady was the most famous athlete in the world. And I'm like, man, Tom Brady's not even as famous worldwide. Tom Brady's not even as famous as fucking... I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. He might not be as famous worldwide as Roy Keane. Like there might be an Irish worldwide more. Maybe not Roy Keane. But definitely not as famous like Thierry Henry. Definitely not as famous as Mbappe. Maybe not even as famous as Rafinha, who used to play for Leeds. So yeah, that's that, I guess. And it is just so impressive again to see how popular she is. And like, look, the popularity is only going to increase as long as she's hooping. Like it's as simple as that. Like if Caitlin Clark's performances this year were not like, let's just say the injuries, she never is the same again. Look, the WNBA dies. The WNBA dies with Caitlin Clark. Like the mainstream relevancy of the WNBA dies with Caitlin Clark. We saw it in college last year. People weren't watching Juju. We saw that. People were not watching Juju. People do not watch Paige Bueckers. Like we've seen all of that. We've seen every bit of that. And look, if we're being completely honest here, people just don't care that much about a lot of these other players. So yeah, that's pretty much it, lads. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? And it's fine to disagree. Look, it's absolutely fine. You guys can disagree with this take, but for me, I think this makes perfect sense. I think maybe by the end of the season, Victor Wembanyama slots into that, but other than that, I think LeBron, Steph, and Caitlin Clark is most definitely the top 3. I think it's most definitely the top 3. So anyway, yeah. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys.